the other day a song came on. I was like, is this Sheryl Crow? I think this is Sheryl Crow. And I started talking about the song and then other songs. And I was like, why do I know so much about Sheryl Crow? And everyone's just like, yeah, I don't, it's weird. That's
you can
fair.
thank Namely 90s.
If it makes you happy.
Welcome to Namely 90s. Wow. The podcast that takes you back to the time before smartphones, Google, and Y2K. Join your hosts as they relive the pop culture that shaped a generation and the parts that many people wish they could forget. Listen in to the conversation about how the decade defined those who spent their childhood there and how it shaped them as adults. So, turn down the grunge and dial up the internet. Let's get started. It's time for Namely 90s.
That's right. You're listening to Namely 90s. My name's Andrew, and over there is Brandon.
That's me.
You can find us online at namely90s.com or on Twitter and Instagram at namely90s with the 90s. You can also find the show every Monday on YouTube at namely90s.com/YouTube. And finally, if you'd like to support the show, head on over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/namely90s, also with the 90s. Get signed up for one of those support levels. We'd sure appreciate it. Boy, I got through that whole thing without saying anything wrong.
That's not uncommon.
Miraculous. Oh, okay. Or that. Yeah, well, how are you? It's definitely been, has it been a bit? No.
No, well,
week?
a week and a few days, yeah, because I think...
It feels like a long time.
Yeah. Does it?
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Thank you, Stu. That's my nickname for Andrew, Stu.
Oh, boy.
Because his middle name's Stuart.
You can send your hate tweets to namely Brandon at facebook.youtube.
Yeah, I don't use Facebook anymore. It's for the old. Speaking of absolute crap, that Instagram redesign is terrible.
Didn't know about it. Speaking of Facebook, you go first.
Well, I was just gonna say it's like they're trying to make it into TikTok, but it's like people don't use it to be TikTok except for the people that upload TikToks to Instagram because they don't have a life. It's just like.
I use it to watch TikToks like an adult.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, I don't know, Instagram is ruined. And then they're going to make it even worse next year by increasing the AI algorithm across all of Meta. So that includes Facebook, so that you don't see, so you get a targeted swath of stuff sent to you.
But that's so meta.
It's not from your friends. It's just from.
And that joke is meta. Just
what
so
the
know.
AI does. How is the joke meta?
Because the name of the company is Meta.
That's not meta.
Yes, it is.
Well, the joke's not meta if the joke is that the name of the company is Meta and you're making a meta joke about it.
Okay, my brain is going to burst into flames.
You had something to complain about?
No, we drove all the way to Los Angeles last week for furniture. Drove.
He doesn't sound bitter about that.
40 hours in 4 days, essentially.
Yeah, impressive.
But we stopped just outside of Bend, Oregon on our way back in a small city that's spelled Prineville, but probably not pronounced that way. And as we were driving in, it was after dark. We got a late start and didn't really want to be in the dark, but we were driving through. And you get through Bend, and then you like take a right and go east on this like really narrow kind of country highway. And you arrive in this small town of 11,000 people. And but when you drive in, there's like on the left-hand side, there's this massive, what looks like warehouse complex surrounded by a high fence with like razor wire and lights shining all around it. And on the right-hand side was another warehouse that looked similar with all the fencing. We were like, I wonder what all this stuff is. We assumed it was a jail or a prison or something. We didn't know. And then we got kind of situated, and I looked it up the next day or that night. And it was one of Facebook's primary data centers is located in this small Central Oregon town, and it's massive, like a $2 billion complex.
I was wondering how that was connected.
And yet my signal was still terrible. No, just kidding. Or my connection to Facebook was still terrible. No, I'm kidding about that. It was fine.
Your ISP. That's interesting. Because I just saw a thing about how Eastern Oregon wants to join Idaho because their values are the same.
Newsflash: Idaho blows.
Yes, but they don't like being the rest of the state, which has less of a population than Portland and its outlying areas. They're a little on the conservative side, Andrew.
Well, I wouldn't want to join Idaho here in Eastern Washington.
They just want their votes to be heard.
Well, I want them to shut up. Anyway, it was a long drive.
You can move to Idaho.
There's a data center. Oh, hey, here's something.
Yes.
I finally saw the movie Twister in its entirety.
Impressive.
Bill Pullman.
Helen Hunt. No.
Bill Pullman, Jodie Foster. Meg Ryan.
No, it's Helen Hunt, isn't it?
I'm kidding. I was making a joke.
Wasn't. I didn't know.
You said Bill Pullman.
Bill Paxton.
I was making the joke. I was going to say Bill Paxton. No, Bill Pullman, Jodie Foster, Cuba Gooding Jr. I mean, Philip Seymour Hoffman. I've thrown him into that mix now, too, because he has a three
He's
name.
He's in it, though.
I know. No, Cuba Gooding Jr. is not.
Oh, okay,
I was saying that's another 3 name that I get confused. Philip Seymour Hoffman, not a junior. Just like William H. Macy and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robert Downey Jr. and the other one, Harry Connick Jr. are all the same person. Just like Jodie Foster, Meg Ryan, Helen Hunt. Who else?
Carrie Elwes.
Oh, God, that guy sucks. I hate him in everything.
What?
I mean, he's fine, but his characters are always the worst.
Oh, yeah.
But I do love the explosion when his van blows up. It's so fake.
I haven't seen Twister since 1997, let's be honest.
But I did not know. I mean, I knew that Michael Crichton wrote the screenplay, but he co-wrote it with his wife.
Oh.
And at the time, it was the most expensive screenplay ever written. It was like $2.5 million.
Yeah, that came out on my 7th birthday.
It was also the first movie to be released commercially on DVD.
Space Jam DVD.
Did you know?
No, we had it on VHS, I think.
It's a pretty good movie. The acting is, other than Meg Ryan, Helen Hunt is generally quite terrible. Like Bill Paxton, not good in this. The other lady who plays like the stereotypical like rich doctor lady who's in other stuff, I believe she's in.
What is she in? Jamie Gertz?
Yeah, she's in. Well, she was in ER.
That's
briefly.
I recognize her. Lost Boys,
Jamie
Crossroads.
Gertz. I know her from a particular show.
Watch Neighbors.
I know her from the sitcom Still Standing.
Oh God.
Anyway, she's pretty terrible. It's all very bad. And like Philip Seymour Hoffman is a good actor, but his character is so over the top that it's like not good. You know? And apparently Bill Paxton's character was set to be Tom Hanks originally.
Really?
And then Hanks suggested Paxton because he was working on some other trash movie that never went anywhere.
Toy Story?
No, it was something else. I don't know.
Are you sure?
It was something I never heard of.
96.
No, I read the Wikipedia. It was something I never heard of. So anyway, a little trivia about Twister.
Fascinating. Oh God, I couldn't even remember what Still Standing was about.
But I'm sorry, but many of the scenes in Twister seem very improbable to a point where it's fairly obnoxious.
I mean,
like the volcano. It. The Twister is right there. Yeah, I know, but I feel like they take liberties with the visual effects and things, and then the actual creation of the film versus what the screenplay says. And at the beginning, it's very Michael Crichton because they're very technical about things, and it just felt like his writing. But then it just gets sort of spoiled by the acting. But overall, visually very impressive and a generally good movie, I would say.
So we don't have to force Andrew to rewatch Twister next year.
No.
Or next season. Yeah. Now, would you rather watch Twister or play a game of Twister?
Oh, watch it for sure.
Yeah, same. Okay. Fun fact: the board game Twister was based on the film.
I don't think that's true.
It is not. But since we're not past 10 minutes yet, I could say whatever.
And it was
I want.
originally scheduled to be directed by Steven Spielberg, but they gave it to the guy who directed Speed.
I was about to say, why is Speed popping up in this search?
Speed.
Who doesn't love Speed and Speed 2 Cruise Control?
But I was a little bit disappointed, I think, by the music.
Well,
because there's that one sequence where it's like Van Halen, which I thought was kind of funny, but I felt like I wanted a different musical person to do it. And
to score it?
To score it. And it was okay, you know.
We got best sound.
Best sound.
Yes, not best soundtrack.
Those fake tornadoes generated with a computer sounded great.
Pretty much. I mean, they like to pat themselves on the back. And that's 10 minutes of talking about Twister.
Twister.
Well,
shall we delve into the wonderful wonderful world of April?
Are you having a stroke? Do you smell toast?
Should we delve into the wonderful... You can't say it. I'm going to try one more time.
Okay.
Now I'm laughing. Shall we delve into the wonderful world of April 1995? There it is.
Sure.
Nailed it.
I'm going to text your wife and make sure you're okay first.
No, I'm good. I just couldn't get wonderful world out.
The wonderful world.
Why is that so difficult? Okay, anyway, carry on.
Travel back with me, listeners, to the wonderful world of April 1995. On the first of the wonderful world of April 1995, Logan Paul is born, and the world is worse for it. Do you know who Logan Paul is?
Yeah, he's the guy from Breaking Bad. We've had this discussion.
Yeah. No, Logan Paul's the idiot older of the Paul brothers who at one point went to Japan and filmed himself in the suicide forest, but he didn't kill himself.
Wow.
On the second, there's a new national suicide number.
988.
Yes, so if you're having thoughts of suicide, please give that a call. Yes, yes. Or the old one
988.
The old one still works as well. But,
or text 988.
And just know that we love you. On the second, the longest strike in American sports history ends, which was 232 days, as MLB players work without a contract.
232 days, so basically that's how long it's been since the Mariners won last. I know they just won 14 games, but then as usual, the Astros kicked our ass.
Yes, but then we just won 2
I know.
games.
I was just making a general Mariners suck joke.
Yeah, I don't know. I have my Seattle hat on. Also on the second, this is our year, man. Also on the second, NYT, the New York Times, raises its price from $2 to $2.50. And now you can just read that shit for free.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a paywall.
Only on like half the stuff.
Okay.
And it's usually the stuff that you actually want to read on the or recipes for some reason. On the 12th, Rock for the Rainforest is held at Carnegie Hall, and it features Sting, Elton John, Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, Paul Simon, Billy Joel, and other musicians.
Wow.
Benefit concert for
the rainforest.
There you go. Also on the 12th, Drew Barrymore appears on Letterman for his birthday episode, and he gets a little benefit himself, if you know what I'm saying. This is the episode where she infamously dances on his desk and flashes him on air.
And has a hole in the crotch of her pants.
I did not notice that until you brought it up. On the 15th, Mortal Kombat 3 arcade cabinet is released ahead of the home console editions later in the year for the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 1. among other consoles, which was weird that there were more consoles that had that. On the 17th, the 99th Boston Marathon is run, which is almost a milestone. On the 18th, Joe Montana announces retirement from football. Andrew, can you tell me if he is a American football player or a soccer player?
Ooh, I know there's a Montana Shire in England, so it must be it's American football.
Had me there for a second. On the 19th, the Oklahoma City bombing occurs. Timothy McVeigh's truck bomb kills 168, injures 500. And then finally on the 21st, the FBI arrests Timothy McVeigh. On the 23rd, the satellite.
Do you think the judge was like, take him away? The judge was German. Wah, wah.
Insert Coke opening sound effect. On the 23rd, Satellaview accessory for the Super Famicom is released in Japan. This allowed the Japanese Super Nintendo to connect to the internet and download games, magazines, and other media to the console.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's the first console to do so. So that's DLC, baby. Or internet gaming, quite honestly. On the 25th, Ginger Rogers passes away at 83. Do you know who Ginger Rogers is?
No.
Neither do I. Well, she's an actress, obviously. Why do I not remember what she's from?
Excellent journalism as always from the 90s.
You got it. Oh, she usually co-starred alongside Fred Astaire, in all those like 1940s.
Yeah, Fred Astaire, the lesser known, or the okay, nope. Fred Escalator was the joke that was coming there. It's probably a good thing I didn't try to make it because it wasn't going to work.
Why are you beeping?
Oh, I'm turning down my air conditioner.
On the 26th, Coors Field opens in Denver, Colorado, home of the Colorado Rockies. And on the 28th, Melanie Martinez, singer, is born. I think I liked one of her songs. A TV premiere ending in April of 1995. On the 2nd, we have Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel on HBO. And on the 21st, we have Father Ted. This is a shout out for, this is on Channel 4, and this is a shout out for Gaz and Dange, our UK friends, as well as Scott, because I think he's brought up Channel 4 before, or Father Ted before, and definitely the team at Everyone Dies in Sunderland, because Father Ted was the Christmas special they wanted to do for for last Christmas. The 12 Days of Christmas specials. In the box office, April of 1995. On the 7th, we have Bad Boys and a Goofy movie. On the 26th, we have Friday. And on the 29th, we have Escape to Witch Mountain. And the Billboard chart, April 1995, number 1 in from the last week of February. And for the first 2 weeks is Take a Bow by Madonna. And for the rest of the month and out through the end of May is This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan. Continuing on for the first week of April 1995, number 3, we have Creep by TLC.
Is that the same? Is that the first version of the Radiohead one? Yes. It's a cover. The Radiohead's a cover.
I think Pablo Honey came out before.
I'm kidding.
Either way, I would be interested in hearing TLC do Radiohead's version of Creep. Number 4, we have Red Light Special by TLC. Number 5 is Strong Enough by Sheryl Crow. Number 6 is Runaway by Real Mccoy. Number 9 is Big Papa by the Notorious B.I.G. Number 10 is You Gotta Be by Desiree. Number 11 is I Know by Dion Ferris. Do you know the song?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Key change. Okay.
Number 14, Hold My Hand by Hootie and the Blowfish. Number 15, Another Night by Real McCoy. I like that one. I think I actually like Real McCoy songs, apparently. You know that one?
Sorry, you're boring me. No. I'm kidding. I'm just yawning.
You do remember that one?
No, I don't remember it.
I think it's the one that's like another night, another dream, but always.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's that one. Number 16 is On Bended Knee by Boyz II Men. Number 20 is Believe by Elton John. And number 21 is In the House of Stone and Light by Martin Page. I always thought this was like a Michael Bolton song. I don't even remember how it goes, but it's I just always thought it was Michael Bolton. Number 22 is Always by Bon Jovi, and number 24 is Dear Mama by Tupac. Are you looking up that In the House of Stone and Light?
Yeah, I don't even recognize it.
Really?
No. No recognado. That's not how that's said in any language whatsoever.
It's oh yeah, it sounds like a little Phil Collins-y. Yeah. Is it In the House of Stone and Light?
Actually, no lo reconozo.
And now let's toss it across the pond to our friends Gaz and Dange at the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show with the UK headlines for April 1995. Take it away, Dange.
Good evening. Here are your headlines for the UK in April 1995. Phone Day changes all telephone area dialing codes UK-wide. That for Good hits the UK #1. And Dumb and Dumber hits the UK cinemas.
Oh, well, usually by the time we talk to the Namely boys, it's time for us to go. But by grace, it's not over yet. They're usually so cheeky. So I had to think twice when writing this and decided two can play that game. We met them at Muriel's wedding when they once were warriors. Now they're just a pair of little rascals that like to pretend they're Dumb and Dumber. Now we're off now, but keep listening in and you'll hear us again soon because they both said we want you back for good. Okay, Dange, ain't no stopping us now. Let's wiggle on out of here.
Thank you for those headlines, Dange, and if you recognize any of the 7 or more cheeky references Gaz just dropped in under 30 seconds, follow up on these UK headlines over on this Thursday's episode of the Insanely Dangerous Retro Pod Show in their segment, What Happened Way Back When, and enjoy their wider field of vision on nostalgia spanning not only the 90s like we do, but the 80s as well. If you're lucky, you might even hear our segment, Quotely 90s, where we quiz Gaz and Dange on a quote from a subject in the following week's Namely 90s episode.
Now let's go to Brandon for the Namely 90s Minute.
Welcome back to our mid-episode break, Namely 90s Minute.
Break, so eventually you can throw in ads if needed.
What?
Just thinking out loud here. What are you up to?
The Namely 90s Minute. Every week we look back at a culturally relevant show, movie, or piece of pop culture that probably helps stoke the algorithm. Get it? It's kind of clever.
Oh, I get it. How's that working out for you, being clever?
Great. It's getting us decent YouTube traffic.
Great. Keep it up then.
Thank you. This week, in honor of Brad Pitt's new movie, Bullet Train, we're taking a look back at the best 90s Brad Pitt movie, Fight Club.
Fight Club is the story of how the Incredible Hulk, no, not the Ang Lee one, no, not Lou Ferrigno, the guy that turned into Japanese Garofalo in the Avengers movies.
I think you mean Mark Ruffalo.
Whatever. American History X is the narrator, living a boring life until he learns about Fight Club, led by Benjamin Button, where the #1 rule is we don't talk about Fight Club except when we do a Namely 90s Minute on it.
Yeah, I thought I was doing the Namely 90s Minute.
As Red Dragon dives deeper into Fight Club, he moves in with Ocean's 11 and expands their Fight Club. Meanwhile, Ocean's 12 is shacking up with Bellatrix Lestrange from Harry Potter after saving her from an overdose. while also planning terrorist attacks to promote his anti-materialist and anti-corporate movement.
Also, at one point, he beats Jared Leto's face in, which most likely caused the brain damage for him to send used condoms to his Suicide Squad co-stars and to think Morbius was a good idea.
When Meatloaf is killed, ripped to the max, in one of these demonstrations, Ocean's 13 disappears, just as the illusionist tries to shut it all down.
Alright, you're doing a terrible job at this. Give me the script back. The whole point of the Ocean's movies is that they're an ensemble cast, and Danny Ocean is George Clooney, not Brad Pitt. Hello? Wait, where'd he go? Anyway, Death to Smoochie tries to find World War Z and follows his trail around the country, missing him by day at each new city where a fight club has been established. Eventually, someone calls him by Moneyball's name, which freaks him out, so he calls Ocean's 8 and she calls him the same name.
You got it.
No.
Say it.
Because...
Say it.
Because they're the same person? We're the same person?
You were looking for a way to change Namely 90s Minute after 30 episodes. You could not do this on your own. All the ways you wish it could be, that's me. I make unrefined references. I take my time setting up jokes. I am smart, capable, and most importantly, I'm free in all the ways you are not.
Oh no.
Little by little, you're just letting yourself become Tyler Durden.
Good lord. Anyway, the narrator blacks out and ends up back at the house where he finds Tyler's plans to erase debt by destroying the buildings that hold credit card records and tries to stop them by going to the police, where he was foiled by members of Project Mayhem that are cops. He tries to disarm the explosives at one of the buildings,
but Tyler stops and subdues the little prick. From the vantage point of another building, Tyler holds the narrator at gunpoint.
But then the narrator realizes if Tyler is holding the gun, that means he's holding the gun. Wait a minute.
Hey, good for you. Doesn't change a thing.
I disagree.
Where are you going with this, Namely 90s Minute, boy?
I want you out of my head. Our head.
Hey, it's just you and me. Friends?
Goodbye, Tyler. He then fires it into his own mouth out through his cheek. Killing Tyler. Then the woman from every Tim Burton movie film shows up. They reconcile and watch the buildings explode in the distance while that Pixie song plays, that song that sounds like whale calls at the beginning. And that's Fight Club in a Namely 90s Minute. More or less.
And now back to the show.
I'm just crying. That was touching what you said there. Anywhere you want to go? I'll wait for you to take a sip before I ask. And he's muted himself.
The only thing on this list that I've seen is Bad Boys.
For sure. That's why it's on there, actually.
Well, it's a good one. Michael Bay, Martin Lawrence,
1995.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson replacing Will Smith.
Jerry Bruckheimer.
Because of the slap. Jerry Bruckheimer, I don't know who Don Simpson is, and Narcotics movie. No, it's...
we said Michael Bay, right?
Yeah. No, I remember, to be honest, I don't know if I watched this whole movie.
The first one?
Correct. I have seen the second one, and that was pretty fun. They just destroy an entire village with a Hummer.
Yeah.
I think we saw that together.
Did we?
I don't know.
I mean, that sounds familiar, honestly.
It says it's a 1995 American buddy cop action comedy film. I think it was light on the comedy on the first one.
But it's Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. They're just being funny the whole time.
True.
You're right. It's that thing I think Rush Hour came out a year or two after this, and that's also considered like a buddy cop action comedy film.
That movie's out of control.
But like the first, I think Bad Boys and the first Rush Hour kind of have similarities to them because they both got a like early 2000s sequel that was like at least 5 years after the original one came out. So like they're much older, and
they also both predominantly feature a Chinese actor. Wait.
Yes, Will Smith has been canceled so much that he is now Chinese. the thing here is that it's he plays Marcus. Martin Lawrence is Marcus, and Will is Mike Lowry.
Yeah, Mike Lowry.
And like we could quote Bad Boys too. I still say woosah to this day. Because Marcus is Martin Lawrence's character is like
in
trying to do this
anger management, whatever.
Yeah, woosah. Did you see Bad Boys for Life, the 2020?
No, I just remember. Oh, by the way, from the number 2 movie, where he accidentally swallows the ecstasy or whatever, like doesn't it get in his mouth and he gets all messed up.
I forgot about that, but yes, that does sound familiar.
But I do enjoy the beginning where they're like infiltrating a KKK riot, a KKK meeting, and they just pop out of the white robes and hoods with like their guns and stuff. It's pretty exciting.
Classic Florida.
Classic Florida, white supremacy.
I mean, they're Miami narcotics detectives. I don't know why they'd be at a Klan rally. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, the first film was what I was trying to say, like Rush Hour and Bad Boys, the first film is a little rough around the edges. It's just it's a little harder. It's a little it takes itself a little bit more serious. I think the same thing happens with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. The first one's a little bit more serious, and then the second one's just like, let's get jokes in where we can.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the writing change or whatever, but it's just the first ones don't stick in your mind as much because it's more drama driven than comedy, like you were saying.
And they're often older, which means people are less likely to have seen them. Possibly.
True, but if like you wouldn't start on Bad Boys for Life, would you?
No.
I didn't see it either. Speaking of things with sequels that I like the second one better, but the first one's grittier. Friday?
I think you go with a Goofy movie too.
No, a very Goofy movie was not as good as Goofy movie. Oh wait, that's exactly what I was saying. No, I liked Friday. I know you've never seen it. Friday is a really good movie. It's a 1995 stoner comedy, I guess. Buddy stoner comedy, according to Wikipedia. Written by DJ Pooh and Ice Cube, and it stars Ice Cube, Chris Tucker, Bernie Mac's in it.
Oh yeah,
Regina King, John Witherspoon.
John Witherspoon.
I think you'd recognize him. And God, like there are so many people in this film.
Yeah, I recognize that guy.
Yeah. He plays the dad, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice.
Yeah. Good. They don't list cast members anymore. Great. Thank you, Google, for being so helpful. Yeah. Someone else is in this that is recognizable. Anyway, this is where like Bye Felicia comes from.
Oh, okay.
Did you know that? I feel like I've told you.
No, I didn't know it came from Friday. No.
Yeah. This girl comes up, asks them for like to borrow their TV, and like, get out of here. And
Chris Tucker delivers that line, I would guess.
Pretty sure. Oh no, I think Ice Cube delivers that one. No, Smokey is Chris Tucker's character. He delivers the "you got knocked the fuck out." That's apparently his
got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just trying to keep us from me having to do any editing or throwing an e-tag on this episode.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he does say that. Anyway, it's a day in the life, and Ice Cube made this because he wanted a hood film that was also like not just about like all the negatives, because before this you had like Boys in the Hood and what's the other one? The one that doesn't have Cuba Gooding Jr. in it. Menace to Society.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I think Boys in the Hood is Cuba Gooding Jr. Anyway, Ice Cube's actually in one of those. But yeah, it's just like, it's a good film. And there's a lot of internet memes. The sequels, I really liked Next Friday, and then the Friday after next did the classic stoner thing where they set it around Christmas, and it kind of sucks. Harold and Kumar did the same thing on their third film. Yeah. Anyway, if Andrew wants to quiz me on Friday, there's a link to a BuzzFeed quiz.
All right.
I thought that if you would be interested in doing it, we could
on
do
a
that.
scale of bye Felicia to damn, how well do you remember the movie Friday?
I would say somewhere in between.
Who caught Craig at the show with another girl? Was it Felicia, Smokey, Ms. Parker, or Joy's sister-in-law's baby cousin Tracy?
It's D, Joy's baby's sister-in-law.
Always D.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh, those are some fingernails. Damn. Oh, I can't talk like that.
Yeah.
That's cultural appropriation. Moving on.
That is a
Which
good point.
celebrity did Rita claim people said she resembled? Anita Baker, Janet Jackson, Toni Braxton, or Pam Grier?
Pretty sure it's Janet Jackson.
Because her nipple is out?
No, this is pre.
Correcto mundo. Oh, that's true.
I forgot to tee this up by saying I've seen this film a number of times. It is one of top 20 favorite films of all time, maybe top 50. It's on my top 100 for sure.
Okay. Who originally gave Red the chain that Debo stole? Was it his mother, his father, his uncle, or his grandfather?
I think that's his grandfather's chain.
Correct.
Yeah.
His grandmother. I said it wrong. So sorry. Grandmother.
Grandmother. I knew it was a grand something.
After Debo lost the fight, which item did Izal steal? Debo's knife, Debo's shoes, Debo's wallet, or Debo's phone?
So Debo is like the main antagonist of this film, and Smokey owes him money, and Craig gets pulled into it, and they have like an actual fist fight at the end, for manliness or something. And I don't remember the name of the character that you just said, but I know that he stole the shoes from Debo.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which food item did Craig's mom not cook for breakfast in the opening scene? Eggs, bacon, pork chops, or hash browns?
I'm going to need you to read that back to me.
Which food item did Craig's mom not cook for breakfast in the opening scene? Eggs, bacon, pork chops, hash browns.
Okay, so I remember this because she cooks like a giant ass meal for breakfast, and then Craig gets nothing. I think they don't have bacon because there's a later point where Smokey says, "Damn, you always got one thing but not the other. You got eggs but no bacon, etc., etc." So I'm gonna go bacon. I know she made pork chops. Damn it.
Hash browns.
Hash browns. I know. Dang it.
Which actress played Debbie in the movie? Paula Jai Parker, Regina King, Nia Long, or Megan Good?
I think that's Regina King.
I always wanted to be Regina because there's a place in Canada called Regina. Wrong, Mundo. Nia
Regina
Long.
was his sister.
You scored better than 55% of all other quiz takers, getting 4 out of 6 correct. Bye, Felicia. You know the drill.
Oh.
You tried, but you didn't ace the quiz. So bye, Felicia. Wow. Settle down on that. Watch the movie again and come back a little stronger.
Dang it.
Bye, Felicia.
4 out of 6 is 60%. Nope.
I think that's 66.666666666666666.
Repeating, yes, you're correct.
7%.
Only if you round it.
God, I'm the worst. Oh,
but yes, thank you. I thought that would be.
I'm impressed.
Fun. Thank you.
That's better than average.
I'm surprised that it was only 6 questions. I looked at the first question and was like, I know there's at least 8. I thought there was at least 8 questions, but it'll be short. So then we can move on to the Goofy movie.
Oh, the Goofy movie starring James Marsden. No, that came up before.
Jason Marsden, yes. I forgot to try to get him on the show. A Goofy movie is a 1995 animated musical comedy adventure film produced by Disney Movie Tunes and the Walt Disney Television Animation. It's based off of Goof Troop, and it is a standalone follow-up to the show. I don't remember watching Goof Troop because I don't think we had Disney back in 95. But I do know that I had a VHS copy of this movie that I watched a lot. It also had Pauly Shore in the movie as this like really creepy teenage friend of Max and Max's friend, the larger one. And he would just like, he was really into Cheese Whiz. So the thing that I remember the most from this movie is they pay him to use his audiovisual equipment, and they pay him with a spray can of Cheese Whiz, and he makes a leaning tower of cheese, and then just slams it all into his mouth. It's really gross watching it now, but back then I was like, yeah, that looks good.
Yes, that's how you afford equipment, is by being paid in cheese in a can.
Well, I think he was working in like the audiovisual club at the high school, so he could just steal the stuff at any point in time, as you do when you're in high school in the 90s. You see it in the 80s too in Stranger Things. But yeah, it was, so basically, if I remember the movie correctly, Goofy and Max has this crush on this girl, and it's spring break, and he finally talks to her, and she's like, oh, are you going to this concert of this super popular pop guy? And Max is like, yeah, I'll see you there. And then Goofy tries to take him on a trip to go camping for spring break, and Max does everything in his power to get to the concert to meet this girl. Yeah. And that's all I remember. That's a Goofy movie in Name Me 90s Minutes.
I have not seen it.
Really?
Goofy is one of my least favorite characters. I don't really know anyone in the movie. I don't really like animated musical comedy adventure films. I don't like it.
You don't know who Pauly Shore is?
Not really. I know he's referenced a lot, but I have no earthly clue who that is.
You don't remember Kelly Martin, who played Lucy Knight on ER from 1998 to 2000?
Now, that one I do remember. How is she related to Pauly Shore?
She's a voice. She's a voice in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, where'd her name go? I don't see it.
You clicked on it.
Her name? No.
Kelly Martin?
Yeah, Kelly Martin. I know her.
Yes, you do.
She was kind of annoying in ER.
Most likely. But she was...
So she gets stabbed, ripped to the max.
She was Roxanne. Roxanne was the love interest.
Spoiler alert.
Max.
I just gave you a spoiler from 1997. You're welcome.
It works. Jim Cummings is the voice of Taz, the Tasmanian Devil, Winnie the Pooh, Tigger.
They also had Jim Goings, of course.
Darkwing Duck. Let's see, Rob Paulson.
Did you say Dark Green Duck?
I said Darkwing Duck.
Okay.
Rob Paulson was Raphael in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series. And he was Donatello in the 2012 version.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rangy.
He was Carl from Jimmy Neutron.
I think I say he was Carl from Family Matters.
He was Pinky from Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain. Good one.
What do we do every night, Pinky? Or no, what we do every night?
Brain.
Oh, yeah. Pinky was Snarf.
Snarf.
Yeah.
Wow. Encyclopedic knowledge of this movie.
Well, I'm clicking on the things because just wanted to prove you wrong. Oh, and Wallace Shawn, inconceivable guy.
Yeah, I know.
An Apprentice Bride.
Oh, what's his name?
Wallace Shawn.
Oh, okay.
Is the actor's name.
How did it do? Not great.
Did it? It's grossed $37.6 million against $18 million.
Meager impression at the box office.
I was surprised that it was in the box office. I thought it was direct-to-video, honestly. Yeah, and it got a direct-to-video sequel, an extremely goofy movie, it
was. It tries to be so good it's bad, but fails to do both. No, I feel like someone said that about a movie recently.
Everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I probably said that about a Marvel movie. And that's it for this week's Wonderful World of Namely 90s.
Wonderful World of Namely 90s.
Remember, you can find new episodes out every Monday. Check the episode description for this week's supplemental Spotify playlist curated by yours truly. Find us on Twitter and Instagram at Namely90s with a 90s, or find our personal Twitter accounts at bshorty and at NamelyAndrew, and tell us what you want us to talk about on future episodes. If you'd like to support the show, please check out our Patreon at patreon.com/Namely90s, also with a 90s. Finally, you can also contact us through our website, namely90s.com. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Leaning Tower of Cheesa, Deezer, TuneIn, iHeart, Good Pods, and wherever you get your podcasts from. I'm Brandon, that's Andrew, and we'll catch you next time.
I don't have cool. It's not in my repertoire.